Hello, and welcome to Religion of Freedom. My name is Herb, and I'll be your guide for this journey down the rabbit hole. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Yosemite and all of the volcanic activity on the west coast of the United States in the California and Washington, Oregon areas, and all over beside her. Before I found the Aztec mythology explaining how the mermaid got there and, the dragons killed her, I thought, I wasn't really aware of the dragons killing her. I couldn't figure out how she got there and how she got murdered like that. And judging from the skid marks under the ocean there, it looked to me like she had been thrown there. And like she might have hit at Hawaii and dragged some stuff over. I mean, I had assumptions that she could have sped up the rotation of the earth a little bit, and that she could have dragged that volcanic stuff over from Hawaii with her, and that's why we have it. That was my assumption. Of course, now having a better story of what happened through the legend of the fifth sun from the Aztecs, we know that those are two dragons that killed her, and that they are on the east and west coast, those dragons are. So I'd pointed out earlier in another video, it looks to me like the dragons eject fire stuff when they die, and it's just something that happens, just like you would eject your bowels when you die. It just releases it. I'm pretty sure that this is where all of the volcanic stuff comes from. And it also answers another question as to why does space smell like burnt steak and metal? I mean, it's obvious. There's a smoldering mermaid that's full of metal down there. So I found this article online that says, hunting for the reason why the western U.S. has so darn many odd volcanoes. Eruptions across several states might all be related to the same subsurface forces. This is by Scott K. Johnson, and this was published in 2017. Basically, I just thought that was a cool headline because now I can answer that question. It has to be from that dragon. That's where all that stuff comes from. I mean, that's exactly where it came from. If you can prove me wrong, I'm definitely open to that as well. But as far as I can tell, I think I'm pretty well on the money with the identities of these large creatures, which are dragons and a mermaid. And really, once you figure all this out and start factoring it in and looking at everything else through this lens of knowledge, things will start to make sense. I mean, there's all kinds of things that this has a great explanation for. And one of those things that I think is a definite possibility, but I'm not entirely sure about yet, is that she could have been designed to kill all of the monsters and all of the giants and sea creatures that plagued the earth and plagued humanity. And like the legend of the fifth sun says, she was hungry and she was starting to mess things up. She ran out of food. She had pretty much picked through all these giants and probably ate a whole lot of the sea monsters too. And I pointed out in a previous video about how there is a concentration of dinosaur bones in that area. So they either were eaten by her or they were eating her after she was dead. More likely it was both. So I guess that's the basic point of this video, and through the pictures and graphs that I've shown, I think it pretty well shows that all that volcanic material is coming out of Tezcatlipoca's mouth. So the more you know, the more you can grow. One day all this stuff will be proven by someone, I'm sure. But until then, I just wanted to be the first to say it. So I guess that's it for this video. Thanks for hanging out with me this time. And I hope to see you next time. This is Religion of Freedom.